Hello! Today we are making Finikia, also known as Melomakarona. I'm going to demonstrate how to prepare them before we bake them. It's so easy that even a child could do it. First, you take a small chunk of dough. Roll it in your hands to make a small ball. Then take your thumb and press right in the center, so you get this shape.
And once we get this shape, then what we do is we're going to fill it with our nut mixture that has been soaked in syrup. You want to be careful not to get too much syrup in there because it won't seal up. But see, then we have to seal it just like this. And then we're going to roll it on something that has a really pretty imprint. It really helps later when we want to put some nuts on top, and it holds it right in. And this is what it looks like once it's all done. Then we're going to put it on our baking sheet, and we're going to put it in the oven. So now we're going to show you a few more. We made the dough a little bit earlier, and after we make the dough we have to let it rest.
So you roll, push with your thumb in the center, and you get that shape.
And then we're going to fill it with our nut mixture. And there's our nut mixture. I think you're going to find that sometimes when people make Melomakarona or Finikia, that they don't fill the center. We like to fill our centers because we think it gives it a little bit extra flavor and texture.
We like to be different. One more time. Take a chunk of dough, roll, push, nuts, imprint, baking sheet. Then, once you fill the baking sheet, remember you want to leave them about an inch apart because they are going to spread and puff up. So you want to leave them an inch apart. When you're done, you take them out and you'll see the pretty imprint that you left on them if you decide to make one. So once you fill your baking sheet, pop them in the oven for about...
we like to put them on the bottom rack for about 15 minutes and then on the top rack
10
for about 9 minutes. But you have to constantly check it because ovens all are different. They vary, and the temperatures within our ovens vary. So we check it quite often just to be sure that we don't burn them. You want to get them to a nice golden brown. And then once they've cooled down, when we take them out, we're just going to add more syrup to them. We're going to soak them in a little bit of syrup very quickly and put some nuts on top. And that's how we make our Finikia that our mom and grandma used to make. All this with our recipes will be in our upcoming cookbook, Kukla's Kouzina. We have a blog right now, and we're on Facebook. Just check us out on Kukla's Kouzina. Spelled K-U-K-L-A, Kouzina, K-O-U-Z-I-N-A.
You forgot the S, Kukla's.
Kukla's, K-U-K-L-A-S.
And then K-O-U-Z-I-N-A.
And this is our last one.
Sometimes you'll find at the end of your batch of dough, the last one may be a little small. That's okay.
That's okay. We just make a small one. This is the one that we're going to eat so we can test it.
Give it to your children. My policy, if you mess one up, that's the one you get to eat.
And that's it. And that's how we make Melomakarona.
Or Finikia.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Welcome back to Kukla's Kouzina. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Jackie.
And what we're in the process of doing right now is we're putting syrup on our cookies. These are the Finikia. We showed you earlier how to roll them and how to fill them. And so now what we're going to do is we have our syrup heating. It's staying warm. And what we do is we want to drop about 3 of them at a time into the heated syrup so that the cookie is able to absorb this syrup that makes it taste so sweet and so flavorful. And then we're going to place them one at a time on a cookie sheet that's been lined with aluminum foil.
So as soon as you take your cookie out of the syrup, right away you want to have your nuts at your side and sprinkle them on right in a little line. That way they stick to the syrup. That's why you want to do it so quickly.
We like to use walnuts for the top of our cookie.
And then after your nuts, we like to do cinnamon and confectioner's sugar on the top, as you can see here.
And then once we're done with a whole layer, we can add another piece of aluminum foil on top and do our next layer of cookies. And generally we like to leave these cookies in the pan and inside of a paper bag for about 3 days so that the syrup has time to soak into the cookie and just get a little bit dry. We don't want them to be sealed up too soon, because if we seal them up too soon, they can mold and they can spoil. So we just let them dry a little bit. And then once they're all nice and dry after about 3 or 4 days, we'll put them in our containers, and they will last for about 3 to 4 weeks in your containers. And we're just about ready to finish up this layer with the walnuts and the cinnamon and the sugar.
Now with the syrup, you don't want to leave it in too long or the cookies will get, really mushy and they'll start to fall apart. So you want to be careful with that.
And there it is. There's
and
our
I'll
final
show
layer.
you our final product with the cinnamon and confectioner's sugar. You really just want a little sprinkle of cinnamon. The cinnamon is what gives it a little flavor. So you don't want too much on there. Just a little bit. And then you want to lightly dust your cookie with confectioner's sugar. Unlike the curambiedes, where you completely cover the cookie in confectioner's sugar. And just a little tap.
And of course, these are being put into a hot syrup, so we don't want to put the sugar on too early, because then it'll melt right onto your cookie. So you notice here how none of the sugar has melted. And that's how we do our Finikia. Kaliorexi!